Let all cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws and Claws, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Jill, joined by my co-host and Sad Bunny Scout, and today we will be discussing the fourth published Super Edition, Crookedstar's Promise. Hi, Scout. How are you today?
Hi, Jill. I'm good. Despite being a sad bunny, I am good. I love this is a D&D character reference for those of you out there who aren't privy to my D&D characters. I play a heron gun who is just so very
sad bunny.
She's so very sad all the time. I love her so much. She's going through it at all times, but she's going to get better.
She is. We are working on her getting better, and we love that for her.
We do.
Man, just emotional roller coaster here today. So,
wow,
Scout,
I had a great time with this book. Excited to get into it.
Oh man, Scout, how's the Prey running for you?
Prey is running really good. Tonight, Mom is making a new recipe for a curry bake with some salmon fillet. And a bunch of roasted vegetables.
That sounds fucking delicious. I'm like that.
I'm very excited about that. I can send you the recipe.
I would appreciate that very much.
What about you? How has your Prey been running?
Oh my god, today I made rigatoni with vodka sauce and fried chicken cutlets.
Yo!
Oh, it was so good. I have never been that pleased with the quality of a chicken cutlet that I have made before.
Oh, you love it when you make just the tastiest, crispy, not too greasy.
They got that. Dragged the knife across the top of it, and it did that kind of the ASMR.
Just like in the ASMR videos.
Yeah, baby, it was so good. Secret sauce was I dipped them in flour, cornstarch, salt and pepper, then the egg, then into a panko and spice mix.
The old double dredge gets them every time.
Gets them every time. And I pounded those suckers real fucking flat, too.
Oh, hell yeah. Get your anger out on your chicken.
It was so good. I am usually so, anxious when I cook chicken, just because I've been burned by undercooked chicken. Not my undercooked chicken, but, undercooked chicken before. So I am always very, very nervous, but they were sufficiently flat, and I did, a shallow fry in some canola oil.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that all sounds so good.
Yeah, it was incredible. I am already excited to have the leftovers for lunch tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, the best feeling. The best feeling is when you make a great dinner and then you know that you also have a great lunch the next day.
Yeah.
Truly one of life's greatest little pleasures.
One of the joys of life. But yeah, Prey otherwise is running good. I've gotten back into playing a little bit more Clan Gen.
Oh, fun.
Just because the update that lets you have multiple mates for your cats. I was like, I want to give this a try. So I have been messing around with that a little bit. Nothing too big to talk about, but the update is very fun. Do we want to do a quiz? We haven't done one in a while.
I would love to do a quiz. There hasn't been a relevant quiz in a few books or in a few recordings. But I'm excited. We have one here. How well do you know Crookedstar's Promise? Excited to see how prepared for our discussion we are.
I have a feeling we're going to be very prepared.
Oh, yeah. 5 out of 6. Which one did I miss?
I got 4 out of 6.
Uh-oh.
I'm ashamed. I got incorrect how he earned his warrior name and the cat that did not give him a life.
Oh, I also got that one wrong. I'm just realizing it because, of course, Cedarpelt wasn't dead.
I know.
I'm such a fool.
I know. No, I did the exact same thing.
That was the one I got wrong as well. Cedarpelt wasn't dead. The other one was, which one? The warrior name one?
Yes, I had a mistaken remembrance of the order in which the events occurred.
Yeah, which one did you choose?
I picked leading the attack on Sunning Rocks.
Yeah. That's understandable. Listen, there were a lot of attacks on Sunning Rocks in this book.
We are gonna talk about it.
I'm excited for that.
Shit, did they do that a lot?
They did. Generally, I felt like with this one, there was... Well, we'll get into it, but I felt like there were less repetitions, except when it came to fucking how many times we had to talk about Sunning Rocks in this book. But before we get into the depths of the conversation, now that we are properly prepared, we have reviewed the texts, are you ready to give us our lovely summary?
I so am. And I've been very good, and I have not been drinking before this. I did decide, because it's been a long week and it's only Tuesday, to go ahead and pop a little bit of wine into my glass tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Probably
We're gonna
great. I'm probably just going to cry about Crookedstar is the thing.
God, I mean, I might do that without alcohol, so we'll fucking see.
Let's get into the summary. During a flood, River Clan is forced to abandon their camp. In the midst of this storm, a queen named Rainflower gives birth to 2 kits, named for the circumstances of their birth: Storm Kit and Oak Kit. As Storm Kit begins his narration, we learn that River Clan is rebuilding their camp. And in the time that it is taking, ThunderClan has claimed Sunning Rocks as their own. While playing, the brothers head out to the stepping stones where they encounter Goosefeather, ThunderClan's medicine cat, who chases them back to the river. Storm Kit slips on the rocks and hits his face, which is when he meets a mysterious cat he believes to be from StarClan. After a long recovery, Storm Kit learns that he will never fully heal and faces ostracization from the clan due to his disfigurement, most notably from his mother. At her request, he is given a new name, Crooked Kit, but his apprentice ceremony is delayed. He is told by the cat who he saw in the water, Mapleshade, that this was all part of his destiny, and so he resolves to journey to the Moonstone to learn from StarClan directly. Along the way, he spots Fallowtail, a River Clan cat, and Reedfeather, the Wind Clan deputy, talking in Wind Clan territory. He falls asleep before reaching the Moonstone, where Mapleshade tells him to return to his clan. Instead, Crooked Kit finds himself at a barn where he meets a group of cats who help him learn to hunt and eat, despite his jaw. Mapleshade does not leave him alone about returning to the clan, but he still refuses. Come harvest time, Crooked Kit saves one of the kits in the group that he's been living with from a monster, and realizes he needs to return home on his own terms. When he returns to River Clan, cats, including Hailstar, question his loyalty, but he swears to make the clan proud. When Mapleshade visits and asks him to promise loyalty to his clan above else in exchange for training, he does so, hoping to make River Clan proud. Soon after, Fallowtail gives birth to Grey Kit and Willow Kit, and after Crooked Kit saves them from a heron, he is finally given his apprentice name. Reedfeather comes to the clan, claiming them as his children, and without much of a fight, they are taken to Wind Clan. Crooked Paw continues his training, but he is still behind all the others. And when his brother Oakpaw is given the name Oakheart, he is told by his mother that he will never be as good as him. Shellheart, his father, defends him to his mate. At the gathering, Crooked Paw meets Blue Paw of ThunderClan, who he initially hits it off with, though Mapleshade disapproves. Later, they fight over Sunning Rocks, and Crooked Paw pulls away from pursuing a friendship with her. In the aftermath of that battle, Hailstar loses his 8th life. Desperate to show RiverClan's strength, Hailstar orders that they take back Grey Kit and Willow Kit, who then become RiverClan apprentices. After they journey to the Moonstone with Crooked Paw, it is revealed that Brambleberry, the medicine cat, is nervous about Crooked Paw's destiny, though she will not say why. After the battle to reclaim Sunning Rocks, Crooked Paw is finally given his warrior name, Crooked Jaw. Crooked Jaw begins to get closer to the also newly named Willow Breeze, which angers Mapleshade, who claims a mate will distract him from his destiny. A series of dour events occur in RiverClan after Crooked Jaw sees another pair of cats, Shredtail and a ThunderClan warrior named Thistleclaw, in the dreams where he trains with Mapleshade. Rainflower is killed by a dog. The warrior Mudfur decides to stop being a warrior and become a medicine cat, and Shellheart retires. As it has not been long since Bright Sky, a queen, died giving birth to her kits, the atmosphere in camp is despairing as Hailstar tries to determine the next deputy. But then he sees the crooked jaw of the squirrel that Crooked Jaw caught, and decides it is a sign. Crooked Jaw is named the new deputy of RiverClan. Crooked Jaw suspects that Mapleshade made the omen happen, and when he accuses her, he learns that she is not from StarClan as he suspected, but from the Dark Forest. He says he no longer needs her, but she simply reminds him of the promise he made. Shellheart dies not long after, and ThunderClan retakes Sunning Rocks. On a patrol to gather straw, Hailstar is killed by rats, leaving Crooked Jaw to become the leader. He confesses to Brambleberry about Mapleshade, who tells him to visit StarClan anyway, and he is forgiven and given his 9 lives. Greypool gives birth to kits, but they do not survive. However, 2 kits are mysteriously found on the border and given to her to raise. It is later revealed that these kits, Misty Kit and Stone Kit, are the children of Bluefur and Oakheart. Willowbreeze tells Crookedstar that she's expecting his kits, but after her birth, she develops a bad cough, and all except Silver Kit die. He confronts Mapleshade in the Dark Forest once more, where she reveals that his ancestor is the cat she swore her revenge on. Crookedstar despairs, believing he will lose everyone he loves, but after a fight with Oakheart, he realizes the error of his ways and reveals to Silver Kit that he is her father. Wow. A lot happened, I gotta say.
What a fucking book, my guy. Whew.
Whew.
I want to open with Crookedstar is so fucking sad. What a sad man.
Wow.
I want to hold him. So many bad things happen to him.
And yet he still manages to stay positive throughout all of it.
And through all of it, he also never falls into, like, one of my all-time favorite things about this book is the fact that, you know, I jokingly wrote here, Mapleshade meets her match himbos, but it's...
No, it's so true, though.
It's deeper than that. But Mapleshade tries at every turn to manipulate Crookedstar through his life into being power hungry, into being unloving, into being cold-hearted and calculating and all of these things. And at every single turn, Crookedstar, you know, Crooked Jaw, Crooked Paw, Crooked Kit, at every turn in his life, he's like, no, the thing that I want to do is just be a good person and be happy and share affection with the people in my life that I love and work hard for my clan, but not sacrifice myself for it. And
he's just such an incredible protagonist.
Oh my god, he's so good. I love this book.
Yeah, this book fucks. So this is generally, we'll get into it when we get into the fandom corner, but this is, dear listeners, generally regarded as the best super edition.
The best, wow.
Most people that I've seen are like, this is the best of the super editions. Some people are even like, this is the best Warriors book, like, hands down.
I mean, it's definitely up there for me of the things that we have read so far.
Yeah, I 100%
I'm surprised
agree.
by that, though, because the thing that I generally have seen a lot about is Blue Star's Prophecy, which is coming up soon in our reading.
Yes. I do see the two of them end up both being very well received, but this one is, like, people love this book. And you know what? Yeah,
I'm
for good
so
reason.
glad. I'm so glad that people love this book and that it's not a situation like with Goose Feather's Curse and Pine Star's Choice where I was like, I think these are some of the best things that we have read so far and probably some of the best warrior stuff I've read ever, and nobody is ever talking about them.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Maple Shade just fucking like, please just let me manipulate you, bro. Like, just please a little bit. It's so fucking funny.
She's trying so hard to manipulate him, and he's just like, I'm just a guy doing my best.
Yeah.
And she's like, would you for once be selfish? And he's like, no, I will not.
I will
not be selfish.
He does it once,
will not be
and then
doing
he's
that.
like, I'm never doing that again.
I did that, and I hated it, and I'm never doing that again. Thank you.
I do have one complaint. Fucking time skips.
Oh my god. Is your complaint also, why are there so many time skips with no page breaks? Because
Yes.
why are there so many time skips with no page breaks?
There's just so many time skips in this book.
There's so many time skips in general. That itself, I don't have too much of an issue with because it kind of is trying to follow him across his whole life and everything.
Yeah.
But it's the ones where it's like, there's no page break, like new paragraph, no page break. It's been 2 months. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, how did we get here?
I mean, even from like chapter to chapter, it's like you think they're going to follow up on a line from a chapter sometimes, and then it's like, okay, we're skipping a little bit of time. Like,
Yeah.
wild. Anyway, minor quibble. Minor quibble. I feel like I complain about this every single goddamn book.
It was really apparent in this one to me how many times I got to literally no break whatsoever in a new paragraph, and it's like time has passed, and is it just that I read books where mostly if a scene ends and time passes, there is a break? Is that not a thing that most books do? I don't know.
But I see here your first bullet point is let's talk about childhood neglect and parental expectations, the sequel. And can I just fucking say, Jesus fucking Christ, Rainflower.
Oh my god. Parentheses, it's somehow worse than Tall Star's Revenge.
Yeah,
because,
like,
oh my god.
At least with Tall Star's Revenge, like, it was very clearly postpartum depression.
Mm-hmm.
With this book, she's just ableist. She's just like a shitty person.
It's so bad, dog!
The fact that you look at your child who survived a traumatic injury and is like trying to get your affection and clearly like alive and going to be able to live a life. And you're like, well, he's ugly now, so I don't want to be around him. Oh my
Literally, I cannot
Christ.
believe how deeply she just rejects her child just because he has an injury that has left him minorly disfigured.
Yeah, it's fucked up. She's on my hate account. Like, this is a Rainflower hate account. I do not think she was redeemable at all.
Dude, the fact that she doesn't even give him a life in his 9 lives ceremony.
Right? Woof.
Absolutely rancid vibes. That she's not even there.
Yeah, she doesn't even
see
show
her, like,
up.
in the crowd.
She does not even show up.
Dude.
Oh my god. But
Are you for real right now with
on
this?
the other side of his mother being a complete and total horrible parent. It is so fucking refreshing to see a father figure who is like a good dad.
I'm holding Shellheart above my head like Simba in the beginning of The Lion King. Like, I love this dad. This is a good dad.
He's such a good father. He's so good. He cares about his son. He's like, hey, she's just going through it. I still believe in you, all that. And
he advocates for his son.
Yes, he advocates for him. When she is like, I do not want anything to do with him, he's like, well, then we're not together anymore. Like, I can't be with you if you're gonna treat our son like this.
And he's stuck up for him. Oh, that scene.
He's like, no, don't break up because of me. He feels so bad about his parents getting divorced. And that's so heartbreaking.
It's so rough because he comes out and it's literally a thing where like Rainflower comes out here and is like, I want to rename my son so that he is forever constantly reminded and defined by this thing that happened to him. And this kid, who is so small at the time, he's like 5 months old at that point.
He's a baby.
He's a baby, and he's like, don't worry about it. If it means that you won't fight, I don't care. She can change my name.
Yeah, he's literally like, I will take this name if it will make my mom love me again. It sucks. Like, it's such powerful writing, but it sucks so bad for him. Like, I feel heartbroken. There was even a line at one point, I don't remember exactly what the context was, but there was even a line where he was like, maybe he could get her to love him again. And yeah, I was just like, Crooked Kit, my baby boy. My baby son.
I'm
holding him in my hands.
I also loved the section where he went to live with the farm cats, though, because the way that Fleck just so immediately is like, oh yeah, I had a brother who took a fall and had a similar injury, and like, here's all of the ways that I saw that he accommodated himself, that I can teach you how to accommodate yourself.
Yeah.
That was so good. That shit was so good. We came into this series, and I came into this series expecting a lot more negative, like, connotations and negative aspects of disability in this series, and so far I've been really, like, pleasantly surprised at how high I've been feeling about a lot of these storylines. There's, of course, always going to be, like, some stuff, but I'm really interested to get into like more of the main series books and see if like that continues to stay thoughtful, because generally it's been really thoughtful and there's been ableism displayed, but it hasn't really been a thing that is sort of supported by the narrative voice, if that makes sense.
No, that makes complete sense. I will also admit, guys, I told Scout this as I was reading, because I had a lovely Sunday where I laid on the floor with my cat, and I read this whole entire book while a thunderstorm was going on. It was perfect vibes, but I was so engrossed that I did not take a lot of notes.
This happened to me too. It was just such a good read that I found myself, like halfway through, and I was like, oh shit, I haven't really been keeping as good of notes as I usually do.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of notes, but as we're kind of continuing through Crookedstar's life, I did kind of crack up, and I reread the paragraph a few times when Crooked Kit sees Fallowtail and Reed Feather. Like,
oh my God,
actually definitely caught them boning, like, at the time. Just the way it is described, I'm gonna fucking find it. The way it is described, I'm like, they are definitely fucking.
Oh my God, I need to revisit this. Give me the deets here.
He hears them mewing before they even sent him. So like,
damn dude.
It says 2 pelts gleamed in the heather below. And then they stand up as he like tries to hide, and I'm like, so they were definitely fucking, right? Like,
they were at least spooning.
They were at least spooning. Like, he definitely caught an affair. It was just so very vague that I was like, okay, so this is definitely what's happening.
I loved that whole thing, and then later when Crooked Kid goes back and sees Fallowtail, and he's like, I wonder if Fallowtail was on like a secret mission between like some sort of allegiance of secret mission between Wind Clan and River Clan. I better not mention anything. I don't want to blow her cover.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to ask her about it.
What a good little guy.
He's just such a baby. But I just wanted to say, like, Crooked Paw, I think, is just such a beautifully written character. He is shown in the narrative to just be a good person, like a good guy. He cares so deeply about the kids, and I know that's like an easy way to show that someone is like the moral correct character or something like that by like being like, oh yeah, they're very sympathetic to children, they like kids, but like it also directly contrasts the fact that, you know, he got his injury as a kit because another cat was not treating him like a child and was treating him like an enemy. And so I think it's just really
Big L.
fucking Goosefeather. I'm
Big
sick
L
of this
for
man.
Goosefeather here. What happened to you, my guy? But sorry, I cut you off
banana
talking about that.
bonkers. I'm telling you, like, he is banana bonkers.
I'm afraid to see what happens in Blue Star's Prophecy when we see, like, the rest of this. I'm so afraid. Because I came out of Goosefeather's curse, like, this is my little meow meow. And every other instance that we've seen of him since then is like, this is not meow meow behavior anymore.
Yeah, he, as far as I know, he's definitely not meow meowing as much as we would like. Yeah. His contrast specifically to Goosefeather is very interesting in that way, and I just think that he is a good boy. He is
a good boy.
He's such a good boy.
There's so many moments where he just is so genuinely full of like affection for the people around him, for the other like characters around him, in like every different kind of way that you can show affection. He feels like a character who has so much love to give in like all directions. And I love that. And that I love to see that in a male protagonist also. Something that like
fuck
is not
toxic
always
masculinity.
Fuck toxic masculinity. My guy Crookedstar would never go on an alpha male podcast.
I agree. Another like really endearing moment is when he meets Blue Paw at the gathering. Oh my god,
like, chilling and chatting.
It makes me so sad. They could have been like truly best friends. But
I know.
I'm not gonna read like the descriptive. I'm just gonna kind of read their dialogue here.
The way that they keep getting shushed and then just don't stop chattering is also really cute.
Hi, I'm Crooked Paw. Crooked Paw? And then he's like, I'm guessing my warrior name would be Crooked Jaw. He joked half-heartedly. And he said, unless my tail goes the same way, then Hailstar might have to rethink it. And he's like, I guess I should have guessed cats would stare at me. And she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. You surprised me. And he said, I'll get used to it until everyone gets used to me. At least no one forgets my name. What's yours? Blue Paw. And then he says, you're not very blue. And she says, I look more blue in the daylight. It's so fucking funny. And then she sees him at the gathering after he's gotten his warrior name, and she says, oh, hey, Crooked Jaw. And he's like, how'd you know my name was Crooked Jaw? And she's like, your tail's still straight. And I'm like,
I know, I loved that. What a good little note.
Oh my god, it was such a precious little callback. That scene was so cute.
It was so good.
Oh, it's such a good scene. I just really love, like, how endearing of a character he is.
I know. He's just so affable.
He's optimistic, but not in an annoying, like, nothing bad will ever happen kind of way. Like, he recognizes bad things will happen, but he tries his best to, like, look on the positive side of things and, like, recognize what he can and can't change. And he is just, I very much enjoy that.
He approaches optimism in the way that I strive to and try my best to in life.
I need to be a little bit more like Crookedstar is what I'm saying.
We all gotta be a little bit more like Crookedstar. If you take one thing away from this episode, dear listener, be a little bit more like Crookedstar. I'm really excited to see more of Bluefur and Oakheart once we get around to Blue Star's Prophecy. We haven't mentioned Oakheart that much, but wow, do I love him.
Brother. I love Oakheart. Holy
This man is the best brother of all time. This is the bro of all time.
Yeah, he loves his brother so much.
He love him, brother.
He love him, brother. He is not jealous of him. He is not. There is like one moment where they have a disagreement and they have a falling out, but it does not last long because Oakheart realizes it's not really Crookedstar's fault. And it's just, they just love each other so much. And even when everyone else is standing against him, Oakheart is like by his side.
It's so good.
Every turn.
It's so sweet. At every turn, people around them want them to be in competition with one another, and it's just so good how they never really reach that point. And it's not even in a way that it's like, this is unrealistic. It is like they have these moments where it's like, we'll have Crooked Jaw's internal monologue, and he will have this moment of like a little bit of jealousy, and then he'll be like, no, that's unfair. Of course I'm happy for my brother. I love my brother. And I think that that's a really healthy way to like look at and address those kinds of feelings.
I agree.
Because it is really rough when like Crooked Paw's apprenticeship is delayed and he is basically just barely made an apprentice by the time Oak Paw becomes Oakheart and is made a full warrior, between the recovery from his injury and then his running off on his own little side adventure, and then coming back and kind of continuing to be delayed as sort of punishment for like, listen, you went off for a month and you just kind of did your own thing, and you kind of didn't
tell anyone where you were going.
And that's
you made us all think you were dead.
Come on, little guy. So yeah, of course, like that is something that is going to have negative feelings attached to it. But I think that like he has shown processing it and accepting it in really healthy ways. And I don't know, I'm just him good guy, him good boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Let's talk about some bad boys.
Let's talk about some bad boys.
What the fuck is Goosefeather doing in the Dark Forest?
Yo, what the fuck is Goosefeather doing visiting the Dark Forest? Why is he in there?
He's not even like training in there, guys. He's just like popping in to see what's up.
He's literally I think he's just hopping in there to be like, yo, Mapleshade, can you like chill the fuck out? But I don't know. Maybe he's there because he's curious. Maybe he's gonna die and go to the Dark Forest. I don't know, man.
I don't know,
what happened?
Man. He's got some wild shit going on.
He keeps popping up. What's up with that?
Yeah.
I'm desperate to see more of the Dark Forest politics, and I don't know if we're really going to get that for like a long time, but I want to know like everything that goes on in there. I want to know like who all of these other cats are.
Yeah.
And their stories and like how they got there, and I am so curious to learn about Thistleclaw once we get to Blue Star's Prophecy.
See,
what's up with that guy?
Here's the thing. I remember reading Blue Star's Prophecy when it came out, but I do not remember like 90% of what I read. But I do remember like Thistleclaw does play a very big part, so I'm very interested to see.
Because I also remember when Blue Star sort of recounts her story to Fireheart, like once we get into the prophecies begin, she mentions, it's just like, it's an offhand thing, like, what, am I going to let Thistleclaw be the deputy the way that he is? No way. And so that's just been like ruminating in my brain forever now, because I've never read Blue Star's Prophecy before.
Well, and so they even mentioned it in this book, too, is Oakheart tells Crookedstar when Crookedstar's like, hey, are these your kids? Like, be straight with me. And he's like, yeah, Bluefur gave them up because she could not let Thistleclaw be the deputy. And Crookedstar's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm not going to question any of it.
Crookedstar has that moment also where he's like, man, if I had gone to ThunderClan and like explained what the Dark Forest was and who Mapleshade was and everything, maybe they could have been happy together. Maybe Bluefur wouldn't have had to give up her kits.
It broke me. So much of
what
this
a
book
good man. Me. He's just always thinking of everybody else.
He is.
It was really fun to see Blue Star's prophecy happening concurrently with this, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in between this reading and Blue Star, we're going to get Yellowfang's secret, which I suppose is also happening concurrent, but because...
we don't get any Shadow Clan snippets.
There's, like, no Shadow Clan in this book whatsoever. It's so funny. I guess it's because they don't share a border with River Clan, so they just don't really come into contact with each other that often.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm so just stoked to get the mirror version of this story.
Yeah. I'm very, very excited.
We haven't really spoken too much about, I mean, we've talked about her a little bit, but we're excited to see our guest, like Gatekeep Girl Boss herself, Maple Shade, back at it again at Krispy Kreme.
I was so stoked. She's really, in this book, she is so much more unhinged than she was in any other, like, she just felt psycho in this one. She just felt absolutely deranged, and I loved every second of it.
The dark forest be doing to an animal, I think.
She is stewed in her revenge and plotted it for so long that it has consumed her, and it is so clear from the way that she talks and the way that she acts. It is chef's kiss. Love how, like, I wrote down Maple Shade unhinged era.
It's true. She's in her unhinged era. I think the way that she so deeply focuses on loyalty to clan above all else is so fascinating.
Yeah.
As like a direction for her particular kind of anger and revenge to like go and manifest itself.
Yeah. The wild thing too to me was like when she's explaining the reason behind her actions to Crookedstar, and she just goes full delusion. And she's like, if my kids had lived, they would have been living your life. Like, they would have become the leader, and my kids would have been the leader of River Clan. And I'm like, girl, you do not know that. Like,
you are projecting a lot.
So hard. And so, like, it's so clear that she doesn't view Crooked Kit as her child, but she does kind of try to become a mother figure to him in the sense that, like, she has positioned herself in her mind as, like, well, he's my kid now. And I think it's really interesting, too, because he broke his jaw and met her in the same river that her kids died in. So, like, there's definitely a little bit of a tie there where she's, like, so deeply associating him with her kids and, like, trying to make him into the kids that she lost.
Yeah, it is literally, like, her trying to live her kids' lives vicariously through him, not even her own life.
Right.
While also having these really complicated feelings about, like, disliking him because of the things that he reminds her of and like, the people that he reminds her of, but also wanting to have this connection with him. And then also at the same time, just being... the viewer, you can't see me, but I'm just shaking my head with my eyes wide right now. Is like, that's how she being.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought her whole thing was fascinating. Weird, wild thing to me was that she was able to physically manipulate the real world.
Yo, hey, the fact that she tries... that she, like, pushes... that was, like, an extremely Stephen King-ass scene where it's, like, the ghost cat is pushing this ball closer and closer to these cats so that a human will come over and grab one of them.
Yeah, it was... I truly was just like, I'm sorry, I did not realize ghost cats could do that shit.
We will see some things that ghost cats can do.
I have heard that they can do some wild stuff, but... for this being my first time seeing how powerful the ghost cats are, it was a wild time. Certainly.
Yeah, they do some shit. Oh, I'm so excited to get... Oh, it's gonna be so far away. It's like a whole year and a half away from now, but I'm just like steepling my fingers, knowing what's coming.
I love this.
In some ways, it feels like the Dark Forest cats have more power to manipulate the material world than even StarClan does sometimes. Okay. And I wonder so much about how much of that is like why do they have this? And is it just that they that like the Dark Forest cats are willing to abuse their like the sort of afterlife magic that they have versus StarClan not wanting to do that. And it's kind of a, you know, one of those things where the quote unquote morally righteous guys end up at a disadvantage because they won't utilize their power fully, or is it just sort of a hand wavy thing? Like, I'm probably thinking way too much about it.
No, I think that's like a really like good read and thing to kind of consider going forward for sure. Oh boy.
Because StarClan says they don't listen. We don't get a lot of StarClan in this
Thank
book.
God.
I won't talk too much shit about StarClan, but they talk a lot of we are powerless for some cats who seem to know when everything is going to happen all the time, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes down to there's inconsistencies, and it's like inconsistencies in the writing more than it's inconsistencies in like the characters themselves, but like that.
Yeah.
It echoes through everything. I don't know. I have so many complicated feelings about StarClan.
Yeah. But I will say, rare StarClan W, fucking amazing 9 Lives ceremony.
Oh, incredible 9 Lives
so
ceremony.
good.
So good.
Perfectly written.
Oh.
Wonderfully done. He goes in there thinking he's going to the Dark Forest, and he's not going to become the leader, and he's going to be betrayed because he got manipulated as a child. And they're like, "We are so sorry that this happened to you." Yeah. The line specifically that I noted that I really liked the particular diction of was, or the metaphor, was you lapped water from a poisoned spring, and I couldn't help you.
So good.
Oh, it was so good.
I love that shit. Is it over dramatic? Yes. Do I love it? Yes.
Am I a fan and I'm being served? Yes.
I am a fan being served. Yeah, it was a really good 9 Lives ceremony. Again, gotta shout out that his mother, who was dead at the time, was not even there.
Yeah, fuck her.
Fucked up. Rainflower,
meet me in the pit.
Give me your location. I just want to talk. Meet me in the fucking pit. Yeah. Speaking of, like, communities of cats, I loved the vibes of RiverClan here. Wow. Exceptional stuff. Just, like, the sense of community. You know, we talk about he has, as a kitten, Crooked Kit has this moment of kind of fear of ostracization. I did it, too. Goddamn.
It's a tongue twistery word.
Motherfucker, what's wrong with me? Ostracization. Yeah, he had this fear of being rejected by the rest of his clan, but really, aside from his mother, for the most part, he is extremely supported and extremely well loved and accepted. And like once they adjust to his disfigurement,
he is very much like,
which like
it takes a bit of time.
He's really like, they love him. And I just like I don't know, there was such a feeling of community here with RiverClan, whereas in a lot of the previous books that we've been reading in The Road to Rusty, it's a lot of the protagonists being at odds with their clan versus really feeling like part of the clan community. And so this was just so refreshing and like made me so happy. I really felt like I knew and appreciated and like had affection for all of the various sort of ensemble cats that were part of the clan.
Yeah, I've had a really good time seeing RiverClan in a different light, because I feel like, the main books that I read were always so ThunderClan focused. And so to be able to see the other clans and like see the way that they work has just been such an absolute joy to me.
Yeah, it's so fun to see them like this and to get more of a like a view into them. I would love to talk about Mudfur.
Please do.
I loved this B-plot so much.
Oh my god, it broke my heart.
Oh, my heart. So Mudfur is... If you grew up reading these books and you read The Prophecies Begin and those early arcs, you'll remember Mudfur being the medicine cat of RiverClan, and I believe at some point it is mentioned that Leopard Fur is his daughter, like in those books, but it isn't really addressed too much. seeing his backstory here fleshed out is so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
He has a situation that unfortunately ends up being paralleled in a lot of ways with Crookedstar's family, but he and his mate Bright Sky have a litter of kits, but Bright Sky is really ill and passes that on to some of the kits while they're still in her womb, and only one of the kits survives and Bright Sky dies. And Mudfur is like so deeply devastated by this that he essentially gets to this point where he's like, what, like, why are we doing this stuff? Like, why are we fighting?
The duel
why are we
scene
risking?
Was so...
Yo, can you imagine what a moment, what a guy.
Yeah, he goes, like, when they go to fight
exceptional vibes.
For Sunning Rocks, he steps forward and he's like, I do not want to see anyone else die over these fucking rocks. Let's duel. Winner gets the rocks. Then we're done. We leave. Adderfang is like, yeah, sure. And Adderfang loses. Mudford does not celebrate or anything. He just turns back and he says, okay, we did it. Let's go. He's like, I do not want to dwell on this anymore.
He is so done with all of this.
Oh, man.
Seeing a warrior, like, say, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to have a different, like, path now. I'm going to learn about medicine from Brambleberry. I'm going to become a medicine cat. I'm going to help heal my clan. I don't want to watch people fight anymore. I don't want to do that. Was just really powerful. I don't know. There was something, it really got me, dude. Like, fuck yeah. Yeah, my man.
Yeah.
And he loves his daughter so much.
He loves her so much.
The way the whole clan spoils her, and they mention that, is so
And I love
cute.
it too, because we do get to see more of her later on.
Yeah, I loved getting to see sort of her origin story. We're gonna have a time with Leopard Star's honor,
oh boy,
I think.
yeah.
Because some shit happens, from what I understand.
Some shit, I believe, does occur. While we're talking about lineage... This is minor spoilers. It was included in the bonus manga in the end, which kind of has spoilers for the future books in a minor way. Crookedstar does end up with a grandson that has the same prefix that he had as a kid.
When you pointed this out, I wanted to die.
And I started sobbing when I realized that. His grandson has his name. And I don't think it was on purpose. Like, in the narrative, I don't think his daughter gave him that name because, like, oh, this was my dad's name as a kid, because I doubt he ever shared that. I just think it is... I'm a sucker for, like, carrying on names and stuff like that. I just think it's a really nice thing in a piece of fiction to, like, be able to trace someone by their names, especially in a book series that is so about, like, bloodlines and stuff like that. I just think it's a nice little touch, and it made me cry.
Yeah, it's really good. And I'm also thinking about, we're gonna get a lot more of those grand kits in the future, and his grandson specifically will be spending a long time with. And the lineage of this family fucking
oh my God.
Kills me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Gang, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, some of my favorite cats are tied in with the lineage of this family, and their stories broke my heart when I was a kid. So get fucking ready.
Yeah. I loved Willow Breeze so much too. I wish that we had had more time with her, but Willow Breeze is so good. I also love the connection of Greypool and Willow Breeze being sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And Greypool ending up being the one that raises Oakheart's,
it really,
quote unquote,
so
illegitimate children. The way that so the Willow Breeze and Greypool are half River Clan, half Wind Clan, and I just really liked that these half clan cats who Greypool specifically, she and her sister went through a lot of trauma in early childhood as they were taken away from their mother to go live with their father, and then were stolen back from their father to come live with their mother again. That's a lot of shit, and I just think it's really cool that we see the through lines there of Greypool, a half-clan cat who went through being half-clan related trauma, ending up adopting 2 half-clan kits to raise them in RiverClan. I just think that that's a great little touch. I don't know if it was really necessarily something that the Erins thought about a lot, but it was very effective to me.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I do just real quick want to note there is a point at which the warrior cats have to go and rescue one of their kin from the humans that are camping in a campsite nearby. I really desperately want to hear the conversations that those humans had later where it's like, Tim, I'm telling you, the fucking cats staged a prison break. They had a strategy. They had a purpose. They knew what they were doing.
That's so true, though.
Can you imagine being a person camping and God, like a fucking swarm of cats come in and they're like, go, 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 go. Absolutely.
Oh, no, it's so true.
Big Ratatouille, the rat stole my documents
yes!
energy.
Oh, God. Yeah.
All right, that was the last thing I wanted to talk about.
That's so fucking funny. No, what a thing to leave off on. Oh my God, please take us to the Erin Corner.
In the Erin Corner, I unfortunately don't have very much today. I could find nothing on I could find no comments from the Erins on the writing of this book, on Crookedstar himself, on any of this stuff. I was struggling to find anything. Listeners out there, if you have any quotes from the Erins about these characters or this book, I would love to see them. I would love to hear more. But it was a desert out here for me in my research. However, we can talk a little bit about how we are with Kate Carey again. She seems to have done quite a few super editions. I really liked Tall Star's Revenge. We read Tall Star's Revenge last time, but I do think Crookedstar's Promise ranks a little higher for me and is my favorite out of the super editions that we've read so far, and is probably my favorite Kate Carey writing that we've gotten, right up there with Path of Stars.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was definitely just a banger from Kate.
Yeah, really, really good. And like I said, aside from going back to Sunning Rocks over and over again, which is something that is not exclusive to this book, it is a big thing until the cats leave the forest, that these bitches love to fight over Sunning Rocks.
Oh, they sure do.
But aside from sort of having a lot of Sunning Rocks battles, I felt like there was more variety narratively. We weren't sort of retreading the same narrative beats over and over again, the way that we had some moments in Tall Star's Revenge where it was kind of like, okay, we've had this same scene sort of 3 different times. And I felt like there was a little more consistency, and it was really well written. I liked this book a lot. Thank you, Kate Carey.
I agree.
Tell us about the fandom. Let's share some tongues.
Let's share tongues. So Tumblr has some fucking fantastic fan art yet again. Some just wild.
This maple shade right here.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
It's exploring the concept of warriors villains featuring within Kit Tales / clan folklore. And so it's imagining her as a spirit who haunts the river, and they're like, don't go in the river. Any lost kits that go in the river are going to get snatched up. Very boogeyman kind of deal.
Good shit.
Yeah. So there's that. Of course I will reblog all of this as you guys are well aware. It's just some good maple shade and Crookedstar art. There's one where it's that punching meme. The one where it's
what do you mean you don't like Crookedstar?
Yeah, and it's just what do you mean you don't like Crookedstar? And it's just defending the boy.
This is how I feel.
Yeah, that's literally how I feel. Just a lot of love for this book. A lot of this book made me cry. A note of damn half-clan relationships really do run in the family, huh?
For real!
Which we will get into as we follow through, because Willow Breeze, her whole line is full of them.
Yep.
Other than that, of course, we've got some great character designs. Not a ton of memes, which is fine. We can make our own, I suppose. AO3, thank God, is back up, first of all. We are recording this in the great 30-hour downtime. There was an attack on the website, and so everything was down. But it came back up just in time for me to do my research.
Thank you to StarClan.
Thank you, StarClan. Yeah, thank you for that. There were 8 specifically for Crookedstar's Promise, 12 for Crookedjaw and Willow Breeze, and another 12 for Crookedjaw and Bluefur.
Wow.
111 for Crookedstar. Like, just as a character being tagged in there. Which is pretty impressive.
I love that for him.
I have started to notice a trend that the most popular, like, kind of fic that people write is a retelling or a reimagine of the canon books. Mostly like, this is what I would have changed in the book or whatever. So I've noticed a lot of that, which I think is funny. But
yeah,
Reddit just had a whole bunch of love for the book. A couple of folks mentioned like that there are some similarities between Crookedstar and Bluestar, so it's definitely something to look at going forward.
Yeah, excited to keep an eye on that.
We got some fucking AMVs, baby. Not a ton.
Some really good AMVs.
But they are
But
choice.
the ones that we have,
there's some with just incredible expression work. Maple Shade looks so fucking evil in every single one of these, and it is delicious.
It's so tasty.
There are spoilers for the bonus manga. I will say that, so
yeah.
do proceed with caution. One of them was from 10 years ago. Wild.
Damn. There's one specifically called Amen. That
one hurt.
So good, just all around. Really, really good. Really great art direction. Really great designs. And boy, does the fucking credits scene.
The credits scene took me out. I was watching these while Eric was sitting next to me. And he looked over and he was, giving me that judgy eye of, why are you watching Warriors AMVs at 8 o'clock at night? And I was like, I'm doing research. It's fine. But he looked over
for
and
my
he was
podcast.
Like, why does that cat have his tongue like that? And I'm like, oh, and I told him about Crookedstar, and he just his whole face changed. He's like, oh, that's so sad. I'm like, yeah, he's just a baby boy.
He's just a baby boy.
But it was specifically Amen that he looked over at and was like, oh, what? He's so sad. But yeah, Amen is fucking fantastic.
I have just been, since finishing the book, every day or two, I've just been like, I'm gonna go watch Amen again.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go watch Amen again and be sad.
There's a lot more voiceover ones this time, and actual instead of it being music, they are narrating, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, some really good AMVs. We'll be sure to share them with you guys when the time comes. It's hard talking about them other than just these fucking rip. Because, this is an audio medium. It's not like we can watch along with you. But very, very fun stuff.
While we're here right now, I realized we really didn't touch that much on Willow Breeze dying and the kits dying at the end of the book in Crookedstar in grief. I just want to touch on that shit was, I was sick.
Yeah.
I was sick over that.
He's so sad.
When he goes to sleep with the kits who are sick and he wakes up and they've passed away.
And they just tumble away from him. Oh my god, I wanted to throw up.
I wanted to throw up. Oh, it's devastating. Really exceptional writing. Fucking ow. And then the fight between him and Oakhart near the end, where Oakhart is telling him that he needs to love and care for his remaining daughter, and Crookedstar says, how can I love her when every cat I love dies? Ah!
Yeah. Yeah.
It fucking shot.
It hurt so bad.
Anyways, I just wanted to touch on that, wanted to say, bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ow.
Do we want to talk about our Warrior Cat of the Week?
Let's do it. Who is your warrior cat of the week?
My warrior cat of the week is Oakhart.
Oh, our boy, our brother. He's so good.
He's so good. I feel like we talked a lot about why we like Oakhart. But I just thought for a character who's going to have such a bigger part in a different story, his role in this one was so lovely, and it was so important to me that Oakhart was just a good brother to his sibling.
Yeah.
So I just think Oakhart, you know, he has a lot of stuff going on in the narrative, and I feel like this has given me another perspective on him because I've only ever seen him really as a background character from my memory, and so it really is nice.
Yeah, I agree. I love him.
Who's your warrior cat of the week?
Mine it was really hard to choose because there were a lot of really good characters in this story. In the end, it was a tie for me between Mudfur, who I've already talked a lot this episode about his B-plot and what I really liked about it, and Brambleberry, the other current medicine cat of River Clan.
I love Brambleberry.
We didn't talk too much about Brambleberry, but she essentially becomes a surrogate mother for Crooked Kit after Rainflower basically disowns him.
Yeah.
And she cares for him so much throughout the story and is also very quietly worried about watching what path he'll follow, because it seems from very far back in the story she had become aware of Maple Shade's presence in Crooked Paw's life and everything, and was really trying to keep him from trying to make sure that he didn't, quote unquote, go bad without influencing him at all.
Yeah, and the scene where he finally tells her, I thought she was from StarClan the whole time, and she's like, oh my god, that makes so much sense, I'm so sorry.
She says, I'm so sorry, and she also talks about how she's so sorry he had to go through it alone, and that he didn't have support, and just talks about how he should never feel alone from now on, that she will support him, that his clan will support him.
It was a really...
I just really liked her.
She was great.
Also, I love the vision of her being this white cat with black speckles all over. I just thought that was a very unusual coat pattern that we don't see that often, and I liked that a lot. And it's really cute that they emphasize how pink her nose is.
I think she's adorable.
I really liked Brambleberry a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brambleberry.
All right. Man, what a good book.
What a good book.
I definitely suggest folks read it. It was a very nice one.
Yeah, at some point we should probably do a tier list, but this is definitely on my if you are going to read going to read Warrior Cats books, this is a great one to read
on that list.
Did you like this book as much as we did? Do you have any thoughts or opinions or questions or memes? If you do, you should write to us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws, as in what a cat has, claws, as in the part of speech, pod, as in podcast. We are also on Twitter, if Twitter still exists, at paws and claws.
Yeah, who knows at this point? It's a crapshoot every day.
Every day I wake up and I say, is Twitter still alive? And on Tumblr at pawsclawspod. Listeners who are 18 years and older can come join us on Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. You can find me on Twitter and on Tumblr at HumbleGoat, and you can see the art I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com. Links to that, as well as my Ko-fi page, will be in the show notes as well.
And you can also, for as long as that old bird keeps chirping, find me on Twitter at plot_twists, or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss the 5th published Super Edition, Yellowfang's Secret, as well as the manga short story Exile from Shadow Clan. Read along by buying the books from a local bookstore or checking them out from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws.